Alrighty, guys, what's going on? Welcome to the March 17th, 2026 Data Sift Biweekly Mastermind. If you guys are new here, this is an opportunity for any real estate investor in the country to hop into a live mastermind, discuss deals, discuss, things that are going on in the market, discuss extreme failures and all the way up to extreme wins, multiple six-figure deals, losing six figures, all the stuff like that. And today, we have a pretty good topic we're going to get into, but we're going to start out with talking with a new SIFT user. Apparently, he's got a deal on the board. So let's have you take it away, man. You're working probates. You're 4 weeks into SIFT. You're just getting your feet wet with us, but you got a deal lined up. So what's going on with that? Where did this deal come from, and kind of what's the plan moving forward?
I'm in New Jersey. I'm not sure if my partner jumped on this or not, and he is down in closer to Atlantic City. I'm right outside of Philadelphia. So
Okay.
we've been kind of working back and forth a little bit. I work remote, but we're working hard to get together at least once or twice a week to really grind out, especially the beginning here. So as
Sure.
it happened, I sent his girlfriend over to the Atlantic County probate office, and she came back with a list of people. And basically I said, all right, let's go. We got down there on a Saturday morning and just started making calls. The fourth call in was a lady, and she lost her mother, and was calling about the house that was in the estate. She, her and her son are moving into it. The asking good questions, you find out some answers. So the question was, well, what are you going to do with the property that you're coming from? And it
Right.
turned out to be a condo in really disarray. So it's nothing great. It's a condo, but we made an offer. We got it at a good price, and we're looking to do the rehab and flip ourselves and not just sell the assignment on it. So we're it's 2 bedroom, 1 bath. It's not a lot to have
Hmm.
to remodel, and we have a few guys that can do the work, and we're kind of doing the calculations on it now, but after it's all said and done, we're it's modest, 30-35 grand is what we're looking to net.
It's a good deal. I like hearing that you're getting your data from the county. So how long have you been getting your data from the county office?
Well, again, we just started, so I mean,
Oh,
we it was we went to the county. He
wait,
sent
is
me,
this your first deal?
yeah,
Whoa, this is awesome.
yeah.
Okay,
I wasn't even
so
I wasn't even thinking about doing any of this stuff 2 months ago. So
so first deal within 2 months, getting
no,
probates
this is
from the
our fourth.
county.
This is our fourth week of operation. Actually, we went to Ohio in the Tommy Haar's group, and
Dang.
uh,
That is awesome, man. Well, how does it feel?
um, I gotta say, indifferent. I still feel like I have a lot of things to do, and we still have a lot to learn. But
Yeah.
it's exciting. I feel like I'm gonna, crack the bubbly when we get a little further down the road with it. But it's one of those things I don't want to stop and celebrate because I want to keep on
Yeah.
going. We have a million other things to do.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but yeah,
Okay.
it's good. I'm proud of my partner for
Dang.
his end of it, and my skill set is on the phone getting people talking, and he knows buildings and trades. So he's very personable. So when he was out on his appointment, he made a hell of an impression with the lady. At first, we made the offer, she turned it down, and then she ended up calling him back and accepting the offer. So hey, here we are.
Dude, that is awesome, man. That is so cool. That's a good first deal too. 4 calls in, 4 weeks of work. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's
That's
exciting,
not
man.
that's not
We're
super common, but I mean, man, you said you're good on the phone, your boy's good in person. It's like you might have a good little
yeah.
situation here.
I was
How
selling
many how many probates were on that list that you pulled?
We didn't get them all just because I feel like the probate list gets dated. So that list from that county, I think maybe had 25 to 30 on it. I mean, I have in my binder right here from another county up here, I have 30 on it. And then
Sure.
I have a kid who lives next door to me. He's looking for something to do. I'm teaching him a few things, and I have him down at another county today pulling the data. So when I pulled this last week, he came with me just to see what I was doing, and I'm paying him $500 any deal that we pull out of that data. But it takes him an hour to go get those records, and I'm keeping him busy. We have to go do some demo on the property we just picked up. He's going to be on that crew running down there with us, and like I said, trying to make better use of time as well. But yeah, it's getting on the phone. I guess the probate thing, with the skip trace, you put the info in. The biggest hurdle I think I have with it is it comes from because it's not the people on that property aren't exactly the owners. So now you're chasing down
Yep.
the executor and everything like that. So the data that I'm actually pulling, I obviously get the deceased, the address, I like date of death I mark on there, the the day it was filed, but executor I certainly get that. The relationship I found that is important too, just so you can recognize like if it's a son or a daughter. I'm very sorry to hear about your mother.
Right.
Just having a certain level of empathy on there, and their address as well, because um, running it through trying to get their phone numbers, that's the big thing. I actually just dropped it in Google, and it came back with a couple true people searches on and getting numbers, and gave me back a list of numbers for the lady that I called. But it comes back with legit numbers. It's just a matter of you got to sift through the bad ones to get there. I usually
Yep.
copy and paste them and drop them all into the data sift,
Sure.
and just kind of have them in a little like note file, and I put little codes next to them like bad, no
Hmm.
answer, left message,
Yep.
unsure, because sometimes they don't have the voicemail comes on, but there's no, it's on, hi, this is so and so, please leave a message.
Right.
It's like leave a message after the beep beep, and it's like, and you're not even sure if you're leaving the message for the right person or not. So
Yeah. A couple things come to mind. First, with that voicemail, even if that voicemail response isn't, them saying, "Hey, this is the seller you're looking for," just treat it as such. Just assume that familiarity. If you're looking for, Michael, and you're not even not sure, you can just say, "Hey, Michael, it's Mason." You
yeah,
know, and then that way you at least put the effort out there to have the response that will automatically generate that correct number you're looking for. Same with your texts. So like I don't know if you're doing texts after your cold calls, but like when you do your
I
call, nobody
haven't.
answers, you send your oh look at this, I got a cat jumping on my lap. But send that text.
I've been using my cell phone, so it's been going. I've been using right. I write from I usually write up a sheet or a little snippet from my on my like a Word doc, and then I'll copy and paste it. And I'm using my cell phone, but I can have my text up in my one screen on the
Yeah.
computer, so I kind of drop it in there. We are getting our phones, our simple phones up and running this week. So that's one of the things we've been waiting for as far as our text. So we don't even have that
Okay.
stuff up yet. That's how new we are.
That's
But
pretty cool.
yeah, so as soon as that kind of stuff's up there, I anticipate we'll have a whole bunch of number one, I won't be using my personal cell phone for it. I'll have a designated number, and
Hmm.
also have a whole bunch of pre-populated messages that we concocted to send
Yeah.
out and schedule and things like that. Because right now it's kind of random. I do make notes of it like when I'm making these contacts and when to get back to it, but it's more of like it's still like throwing things against the wall and seeing what
Yep.
sticks sort of thing versus a more defined like mentality as far as scheduling and follow up.
Well, the best thing that could have happened is that, yeah, obviously we don't want you just throwing stuff at the wall, but luckily you got success quick. Not that you did it for months and drained, whatever nest egg, for lack of better words, you were going to operate off of. Um, So you got it quick. And it literally is the perfect situation for what we wanted to have this call about today. So if you're comfortable with it, we'll transition into that. We'll kind of use you as a little bit of an example, and then everybody that's in here, if something pops up in your mind of like, hey, I got something that we could share for this, or a piece of advice that could help out, I want you guys to feel free to jump in. So today's call literally is about this exact situation. You just got a $35,000 wholesale deal, or your flip check, your first check.
Estimate we're running the calculations on it still, so it's going to be right around there. It's
Yep.
we're looking at cost of materials closing on the other side of the thing, and just in general, like he's my partner's working
Perfect.
on that today. He's he's a teacher by trade, and he's finishing off his teaching career with the last 2 years. So
Sure.
currently, I am the full time employee, and he is working after school, before school, at lunch breaks, and then on the
That's
weekend.
okay.
So
This is
work.
perfect, man. That's such an amazing thing because you're doing what everyone calls like that whole fail forward thing, right? It's like, yeah, you don't have everything perfectly dialed in, but doesn't mean you don't start. And you started, and now you have yourself the ability to have some room to breathe, and to start allocating this revenue. So, what is the plans? Obviously the numbers aren't final, but let's just call it 30K. Once it all processes, everything's through, you got that 30K. What is going to be your approach to how you're going to utilize that 30K to make sure that it's, operating properly? Are you going to go buy a new car?
No, no.
Exactly.
I
So
was
what's the plan? What's the plan?
so I mean, listen, my background, I was working for a client of mine doing gold and silver for a couple of years out of California, and
Gotcha.
they paid us ridiculous. And I don't have any debt. I mean, my car I wrote a check for, and when I went to the dealership, and I don't. It's a not a fancy car by any means, but it's a nice car. I don't. We're gonna be building this business. This is a legacy built business that we're building up here. Um, it's I'm not a fancy guy. I wear cowboy boots, and my office is in a basement of a building right now.
Perfect.
So yeah, I mean, the long term plan is to keep on moving, keep on growing, acquire more properties. We definitely want to do some assignment fees and work with some a building network that a network of builders and buyers that we have in our area. We have a couple guys across the bridge from us that we met in Ohio. I mean, they're going to say generation and a half younger than us, and they're partnered up as well. And these two guys are so far for the year they're splitting 400 grand between them, and that's where we and they've been doing this a couple years. So that's kind of
Yep.
where we see ourselves, where we want to go, where we want to
Mhm.
be. So I mean, we want to have that mix of doing the assignment contracts and also picking up the properties to flip too. I mean, it gives us an
Right.
opportunity to really cherry pick the properties that we're going to want, and eventually maybe keep some as well. So
Yeah. So, you're especially because you mentioned your tech stack, right? You mentioned you're going to start getting your dialers set up. So it's going to be important to know moving forward, like what is the cost of your CRM? What is the cost of all that? And Tyler, this is out of Tyler's mouth. This isn't me creating this. This is CEO Tyler's talk. He's talking about cash flow runway, right? Do you have 6 months of company expense? That whole kind of Ramsey method would be a big approach. Um,
yes, we
but
do.
then you got people. Some people invest their money back in this way. Some people do it this way. Some people do the profit first method. So I'm always curious. What's kind of the strategy? And I messaged Josh before this, Joshua English, and the reason why I'm mentioning him is because he's in your market. So this will be a good opportunity. Maybe you build a relationship here. But Josh, when you are closing deals, how are you allocating your money?
I could talk about like how I do it now versus like compared to like
Yeah.
when I started.
Doesn't
Um,
have to be, what did you do wrong? What are you starting to do right? Like,
yeah, yeah,
this is a very valuable topic. What do I do with the money? Do I just put it
right.
all into one thing? Do I
Mhm.
segment, profit, revenue, uh, owner expenses,
Yeah.
all these things? What's your plan?
I mean, honestly, whenever I close a deal, the first thing I take out is taxes. I always take that out first just because I don't want to get burnt. I know some people they pay their taxes on a quarterly basis. I pay mine annually. just to
Hmm.
like throw in all my expenses, different ways to skin a cat. So that's the first thing that I take out. And afterwards, I take out a large chunk of throwing that back into like marketing and just like education. So I kind of separate those two. And then of course my operational expenses. And to be honest, man, I really don't pay myself out until the very last like bit. And I just, if I want to spend it, I will. But I'm very low maintenance by nature. I really, care about my health, wear the same stuff, and just kind of I'm in a very, and they cover this in the 5 day challenge.
What's
Um,
up?
I'm in a very growth over lifestyle business right now. So like
Sure.
growing aggressively, scaling, getting people situated and all my departments, organized. So that's where I'm at right now. Maybe it could change later on where I pay myself out a lot more. I do net a lot, but I just don't, I don't really like I don't know, I don't really like splurge or really keep it much of it. But yeah.
Right,
Josh,
right.
how are you structured, if you don't mind me asking? Are you LLC, C Corp? What are you, how are you?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm at LOC.
Josh, I wonder if you guys are working, similar areas.
Yeah, I heard him mention Atlantic County.
My partner's down in Atlantic County. My partner, where are you, Jersey?
Yeah, I'm in Jersey.
What part?
South Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia. So I live in West Deptford, but I market and close anywhere from Mercer County down, like all the way down to Cape May County.
We definitely have to catch up. I'm right on Audubon, New Jersey. So
Oh yeah, we're not too
yeah,
far out then.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Uh, so yeah, it was just, like I said, we're definitely very very close in uh, geography. So yeah, man, I would definitely love to catch up with you offline just to pick your brain and
Yeah, 100%. I'm always about collaboration. Yeah, I do assignments and I do like I close on properties as well. Not too much um like fixing on the fix and flips, more like take down, clean out, relist type situations. But yeah, I definitely love to
we're
go back
familiar
and
with all
forth.
the strategies. We just haven't had a chance to employ them yet. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Let's do
It's
it.
so funny.
yeah.
He's got these plans in place and he can't even get to them yet because he's like, I got this money that's coming in. I can't even think yet.
Well, we
That's
just got to go
super
get more
quick.
money, man. I gotta get on the phone and make some money. I get my dialer up and get going, man. It's make those calls.
The
So,
biggest thing, man, is the data you're pulling in clearly has deals in it. You need to make sure that you're able to get through that data and that it's properly taken care of. Not that you think, we did our initial dial through on this new probate list, and now I have nothing until next week or whatever, till the data comes out, and then now I need to go get that 10,000 records. You need to make sure that the data you're getting gets worked absolutely perfectly. And once you're able to manage that, hopefully getting it up to about that 200 records a month where you're really able to manage that, then you should really start thinking, how can I get a little more of a bulk list involved into my company? So dude, it's just amazing that this is the perfect situation. You got the county data, worked it, deal, bam. So it's gonna keep happening. There might be some cool luck involved there, but we like that. So that's good.
it's I mean, listen, I'm not new to the sales call, so I figure, that's definitely have to have something to do with. But we had some good training when we were in Ohio too,
Dude,
with
I'm
Jimmy
sure
and
you crushed it.
yeah,
That's amazing, dude.
it's
And we like Tommy Hart.
yeah, I mean,
Like,
yeah,
that guy's awesome.
yeah, those guys are great. The
Yeah.
I gotta say, making those years of doing gold, man, I was making 150 to 200 days. So I mean, it's you know
Oh yeah.
this is like you're not making that many calls, but you gotta make the quality calls, make them count.
Different kind of gold now.
Yeah, it's still the same kind of asset though. It's a tangible
Sure.
investment asset. It's just little less liquid than the gold and silver.
Interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna call on someone else here. Let's see who I can see. I see Alexander Kong. I know I've spoke with him before. What's your thoughts, man? When money comes in, how are you moving it? How are you playing with it?
We do quite a bit in real estate. We flip, we wholesale. We have a pretty decent rental portfolio. So honestly, it's a matter of like what fire needs to be put out during that week or month. You know, um, we just did a pretty big project. We made a couple 100,000 on, and I feel like that money went faster than it came in. We
Hmm.
allocated, maybe 20 or 30,000 into marketing, but
Sure.
a lot of the profits that we've been getting lately is to fund some of our flips. So that's kind of what's been rolling right now. We probably took on more projects than we probably should have as far as flips go. So we're more focused on just wholesaling and assigning deals right now. But we got to get these projects across the finish line. So yeah,
Yeah. How many projects you got active right now?
7 flips right now. Granted, 3 of them are listed, so 4 of them are currently being flipped.
Beautiful. And I forgot, I know I've spoke to you briefly in the 5 day challenge a couple months ago, but what market are you in again?
I'm in Seattle.
Seattle. We got any Seattle people
I
in here
feel
as
like there's
well?
like 3 people that use REI Sift in Seattle.
Really?
There's not a lot of us, I don't think.
Dang, that'd be nice if someone was in here from that area. We got to get you
Yeah.
some wholesales taken care of, get these projects moving. Awesome. Okay. I'm curious, has anyone in here kind of heard of the whole profit first model? You can put it in the chat or you can open up. I'm curious how
Yes,
that plays into your real estate company.
well, it don't play into it. I just heard it. I heard of it before, but I understand the practice of the profit first. Setting up the 5 different bank accounts,
Hmm.
and I've kind of just to give a little backdrop for me. I've kind of been more on the investing, realtor side, and really working on kind of building more of this kind of investor model into my business. And
Hmm.
so when we first started accumulating rentals in the beginning, I think, I don't know if it was Caris.com or something, it was a
Sure.
podcast. I had heard of it from somewhere at that time. So I'm familiar with it. I would say since, the focus of this call is like to say how you're deploying your money. I probably could have followed it better for sure.
Uh,
So, but no, I'm familiar with it. So I did wanted to speak up and say that at least.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely not, I'm not, mentioning it as if it's church or like it has to be. I'm just curious if there's people that are kind of utilizing it or, maybe playing around with that concept just because I know it's like it gives people that clarity of mind of like, okay, I know what I can do. I know I'm gonna make some money for myself. See, Alex, you read it. What did you think of that book? Are you kind of implementing some of that pieces or
When I didn't have so many flips going on, I did. I set up my bank account with a different bank than my main bank. Like I bank with BCU, my business is with Columbia Bank, and I had my profit account, my tax account, vault account, and all that stuff. But just because of the amount of flips I took on, maybe I was just ambitious. But all my money's just going right back into projects and I haven't been utilizing it. But and last year I was dialed in like 15% in my tax account, 5% in my vault, 2.5 into my profit. Like I was dialed in, but the holding cost is killing me. So I got to get these projects across the
ah,
line. So
yeah,
yeah.
that's an interesting variable to consider when it comes to those percentage splits. That's for sure. That's for sure. I
But
mean,
great
what's
book.
funny
Highly
is these
recommend
are
it.
all really good problems everybody's having. I got too many projects. I got too many deals in the pipeline. Like, that's a good problem to have. All right, you just finished up the deal flow challenge. What'd you think of that?
Man, it was wonderful. So my thing is, I was listening to Chris, and I've had a sales background. I've worked phones a lot, so I have that, and so I'm being very diligent in making sure I have like my stuff set up. The thing I've realized, like when you go use other CRMs, you never have really true support. And after like going through that 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, this is where I need to just plug away and just use one, because I think the most confusing thing that can be like, hey, what system do I use, or how do I track my calls, and all the different things that you generally know you should do. And it's not even just from a like get a deal standpoint. It's like operating a business like better, because it's so easy to, like when I was listening to, I think Ty, and just the deep thoughts of how he put things together, or like how they connect things together. It's like, oh, like if I walked away from this, like would somebody else be able to do this? I'm like, absolutely not. So um and I just appreciate it because it helps you see the value of running a business in a sense that like, hey, how do you keep in contact with like the not interested? Like I've always been the person like when they're not interested, okay, I just write them off. And the fact like, no, there's a way to follow up with these people. I'm like, oh, and it's a system that I can follow. And I'm like, oh, because like that's in the heat of the moment. Sometimes when you don't have anything, you just throw them away. And most of the time, those are deals. And I've had people that I've talked to. I'm like, dang, they end up selling. I'm like, what could I have done different with that? And so, I think the reality of like the 5 day challenge, I think SIF is really that's if it's like y'all are truly like just for the heart of just seeing people be successful, not just for the 1 or 2 deal, but like for the system itself. And that's just much appreciated, I think, on my end, because you know I'm not a very tech guy, but a part of you have to be okay with that when you're a one-man show to get things up and running. As I'm talking to smartphone and right now trying
Yep.
to integrate my my phone over so
Yep.
I can make calls. So, anyways, that it
Yeah,
was
you're
good.
in a the hard part is you're in a bit of a chaotic stage where it's like unavoidable.
Hmm.
You just everything's got to get set up and attached and linked. Once it is, it's so smooth. Our trainings, we've done, man, our first challenge we ever did way back when was the auto lead gen challenge. And
Hmm.
then we molded that into what was called the data to dollars challenge. Then we molded that into the clarity and chaos challenge. Then we molded that into the first to market challenge. And now we molded that into the 5 day deal flow challenge. And these challenges come from the idea that there is a serious gap in the real estate investing space where there isn't major authority figures in the area of sales and marketing processes.
Hmm.
There's, if you guys think about it, there's amazing authority figures in exit strategies, dispo stuff. There's amazing people that have sales scripts, and you guys can think of all the names that are involved. But there's never people in the area of like, how do I build this kind of flow? This kind of like we look at it like the whole chocolate versus broccoli. Like it's easy to sell chocolate. It's kind of hard to sell broccoli.
Yeah.
Um, but the broccoli, even though it's not the perfect example anymore, I don't eat broccoli even. The metaphor is that it's like the thing you need, but it's not real fun to look at or get into. So when it comes to these challenges, it's like, how can we spice up that broccoli side of things and make it so that it's very digestible and easy to apply? And not to just keep bringing up Josh, but Josh is a product of it. He's been through our first to market training. He's been through the deal flow now, and the systems are there. So it's cool that you were super motivated and involved in the challenge this week because grinders do the best with our company, man. If you're a grinder, you just get work done, imperfect action, fail forward type stuff. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna have people like you for 10 years. That's our goal. We want you for 10 years plus. We don't want you for a 6 month push and then you're like, I gotta go do
Yeah.
something else. So we're
Yeah.
not gonna give you everything at one go. We want you guys around. Um,
I think what some you said is helpful for people to hear because I've struggled with this because as the person who's always been good at sales, and integrating sales and marketing, and understanding the kind of the KPIs and the system that goes along with it, it is not a lot of people. Like you said, it's a lot of people talking about exiting, right? But like I gotta build something so I can exit out of it first, right? And so, and also have someone show you like what are you saying on call, or what are you sending to these people when you go to the door, like what are you giving these people? And I learned a long time ago, I'm not that person that can sit back and at least not ask questions or get feedback, because how my brain works, like it actually allows me to learn better or to get better off. Like being in this mind space of building and building up a business, like it's a different mind space you have to maintain, because like when you leave the importance of this group or like the 5 day challenge, and I'm curious of the first to market challenge. I didn't even, like I said, I just learned about this uh, that about a week ago. So I was curious if that comes up soon. But anyways, I value it because in the world of people who's good at sales, you're not good at marketing, you're not good at building a business. And that's the thing I think a lot of people fail to realize. Like a lot of these people have done car sales or doing phone sales. Like they've done some type of business, but they've always worked alongside somebody else who do the marketing, who do all the stuff. When it's like you have to be the one who sets it up. It's a different mind space that you have to maintain. It's not just get on the phone, go, 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 go. So I think that's a real important
Yeah,
aspect to this.
I agree. And like what you were just saying, the whole sales, like that sales mentality is very similar to like a creative mentality. You look at there's a lot of creative people in this world, but then they don't know how to sell themselves or build the foundation around how they can become profitable off their creativity. It's the same thing with sales. Um, so the first to market challenge, um, it breaks down the full flow of that niche sequential marketing. For some of you in here, this is kind of a, you've already gone through it. So apologies about the repeat information, but the first to market challenge literally breaks down how do you go to the county? How do you get the data? And then how do you set up a repeatable marketing flow that has no leaks, zero leaks from first touch to 20th touch 8 months later? How are you going to ensure that your company stays top of mind? And really the interesting thing about first to market is, we frame it as the name. You're the first person to talk to these people, but what that truly means is you're the first person to build rapport. You are the first person to build a relationship with a potential seller so that it's a strong enough relationship that it'll maintain 6 to 8 to 12 months later, to where even though they're still getting, dozens of different calls from dozens of different companies, your rapport building ability was strong enough that at the end of the road, you came out with the deal. It's first to market, and the only person to never leave is the real goal there. So that's kind of the approach with first to market. Obviously, there's a calling, texting, direct mail, voicemail kind of strategy that goes with it. Um, but as you can see from our deal breakdown right away when we open this call, sometimes it happens in 4 calls. Now the goal is hopefully, he got that deal that wanted to sell today. But the thing with first to market is you're filling your pipeline with deals that want to sell tomorrow. So it's not always an instant gratification of you get that list and bam, 4 calls in, you get that deal. It's that matter of did I build rapport well enough with the rest of those people so that my March, April, and May and June has hopefully 1 or 2 deals in there. That's the goal. So now for him, it's just how can I keep bringing this courthouse data in? How can I work it right away? And then how can I maintain and manage what didn't squirt out as a deal and manage them over the months and make sure my team has the tasks, my company has the automations to remind me, hey, it's time to do this follow up. Hey, it's time to reassess who's the not interesteds in our company, who's the people we never got in contact with. And then it's like, okay, now we got to start building our direct mail campaigns. And back to Josh again, my first time meeting him came from this a conversation of not interested campaigns. He started leveraging the ability to talk to people that didn't want to sell, and then he figured out how to start closing some deals. So yeah, that's a big deal. So yeah, definitely join the first to market challenge. It's not massively updated with the current DataSift product, but the process is never going to die. It's the oldest process in the book. I mean, before there was the internet, you had to go to the county probably and get your data. So this is nothing new. This is just something Tyler refined and matched it with the DataSift product.
Hey,
Um,
I'm curious when it comes to first to market product,
yeah,
Josh or anybody else, are you just focusing on probates solely? Because I know he said, stay with, probates, foreclosures or maybe code
yeah.
violation. I'm curious, are you guys just sticking with just one of those niches or have you kind of stacked into other niches as well?
A lot of people start with one list. It'll stack obviously over time, or they're currently on a stack. So, but yeah, I mean, go with those money problems or like the probate, and then yeah, pull that data, work it immediately, get through all of it. If you get 20 records in a week, you better be getting through those 20 records absolutely perfectly. They get their 3 full attempts. They get their call text voicemail on day one. All the people you never got a correct number for, they get another call text voicemail on day two. And on day three, everybody that you didn't get in contact with on day one or two, they get a call text voicemail. And then after those 3 times, they're called exhausted, right? You never got in contact with them. Now, as our exhausted records accumulate, we're building our perfect direct mail campaign. So think about it. Out of all the people you've ever cold called, texted, or voicemailed, do you know with a certainty how many people you never got in contact with? And if the answer is a no, you should be freaking excited because that is a massive opportunity in your company. That is a massive opportunity to add extra deals to the deals you already get, right? Because there's deals that you get today, right when you first call that list, but then the majority of those people on there that are going to be deals, they're not ready yet today because you're first to market. They haven't had enough time to marinate in their problems or to realize I don't have a better option, right? So the goal really is to generate as many not interested and exhausted and correct numbers as possible. That's literally the goal of real estate marketing. How many people are not going to be interested, and how can I keep them organized so that I can follow up with them regularly? That's it. So as you're doing your calling and stuff this next few weeks, as you're really starting to get your process dialed in, you need to make sure you're tracking those numbers. You have to. It is absolutely essential. And as you learned in the deal flow challenge, those correct numbers is what allows you to exit a wholesale company. It's the only thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And
Anybody in here familiar or currently producing deals from not interested or exhausted records? If you are, I want to hear about it right now. And if you aren't, you're going to be that person that is producing those deals. Well, let me ask you this, Christopher. Do you know out of those 20 or so people that you called, the amount of people that you never got in contact with?
Yes,
You do. Perfect.
so yeah, I just, like I said, I'm not, it needs to be tracked better. Like I said, I need to get
Yep.
organized in the data sift and the
Mm-hmm.
dialer and all that stuff. But I actually had a Monday.com board that I was using, but
Okay.
we're transitioning that over now to the systems that we
Yeah.
placed.
Yeah. You don't need it, which is
Yeah,
good. Save you some extra
it's like
cash.
at the beginning, we were just kind of, we were putting all our stuff in there, training materials, this, that, and the other thing. It just
Yep.
it's getting overwhelming as far as where things are.
So out of all of the probates that you've pulled over the past month, because I'm assuming it's a weekly thing you're getting, or you getting them daily?
I mean, so the probates, so the counties, like I said, the one county I'm sitting on right now, I mean, I have those. I pulled them only back to, I guess, the last one was August, and
Okay.
so that was about 30. So I feel like after that, it's like all these things have already been dealt with, so it's, and they
Mhm.
might not be the greatest leads. So maybe it's time to move into like the pre-foreclosure area for these areas. I have another county coming back. My guy just texted me, sent me, just picked up another 30, 35 from that county. So when he gets back, I'm going to add that in the system and obviously skip trace it. And then I know
Mhm.
it's, like I said, it doesn't, but the probate again, the skip trace doesn't really, it's not really a benefit
Yep.
because you're trying to, the person that's listed on there on those records has passed away. So
With Tommy's group, are you learning SIFT or how's it? Because sometimes we have these groups that are actually teaching SIFT. So I'm not sure the ecosystem fully over there.
so Andy kind of oversees that a little bit. We're gonna go
Right.
we're having a call with him this afternoon. So it's kind of our onboarding, I guess, is testing the water, see where we're at with our knowledge base, and then it's gonna get scheduled from there. So we we actually we they had a like a mentorship group that
Perfect.
they were offering. We bought into it. We saw the value. We liked those guys,
Mhm.
and our colleagues that we met out there in Ohio, two gents that I was telling you about, they're just across the bridge from us that are killing it.
Yep. Yep.
They're a part of this group too. So shoot, man,
Oh yeah, we've collaborated with them quite a bit. They're all, like we said, they're awesome guys.
yeah,
Just make sure when you're going through your calls, you're just marking those numbers, the statuses of what happened.
yeah.
And then, basically at the end of the month, you got 4 weeks in, so we're in the coming into the third week of March, basically either first week of April or last week of March, you're going to go into Data Sift and you're going to filter all of the people that are not interested and you're going to work through that. You're going to go through that whole list. You're going to call, text, and voicemail. And then something's probably going to come out of that. And then that status is going to change. Let's say it's one person, that status is going to change. Now they're going to be removed from that group of people that are not interested because now that person's a new lead or a closed deal. And then, another month will go by. There's going to be another 15, 20
Yeah.
people that are not interested. And you're just going to always have that. It's just a bucket of possible deals.
Well, sometimes, like I said, we had the one. So another way I'm getting leads too is I joined every single Facebook group imaginable, and so one lady that we're calling on now, she's trying to sell her house for her mother. It's on a weird piece of property. It's like 9.7 acres. It's zoned residential and commercial, but when you do the comps on it, there's nothing really to compare it to. And the property needs a new septic tank. So I mean, there's a lot of work that goes involved in it. But I think it's going to fall off because I think she is taking the deal for 380, which we were not prepared to make a 380 offer on that property. So
Yep. And then similar to that not interested, you're going to go back through and you're going to make sure you're checking for all the people that just never got in contact with. Because just like the other investors that are probably trying to reach that person, nobody's getting in contact with them over the phone or text. You can send them mail, or if you really want to get after it, you can go knock some doors. And those are really, really spicy deals. Um, so yeah, I would suggest that. And then so much gold in the no context. Yeah, Josh. Yeah, yeah. What you got about that, Josh? You've had plenty of firsthand examples at this point.
Yeah, literally. The first deal this year for me actually came from that. I was looking into the how many times we marketed to them. It was like literally no contact. And I don't know if the repetition, the timing was just right on the last one. She reached back out. She said, "Look, I'm about to move in 2 weeks. Can we get this done in a week?" And I was like, I mean, as long as we get title on it, we're good. And but yeah, that's somebody I marketed to like 3 times and there's just no response. But yeah, I was just adding to that point.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we're drawing in on 11 o'clock. We could keep this going a little bit. We could chat a little bit more about these processes, or we can split and try and get some work done. We could try and get some deals. I do want to hear. I want to see you guys in the group, in the Facebook group, posting these. Like when this deal finalizes, Christopher, it would be awesome to hear about it in the Facebook group. I mean, that's valuable stuff for everybody in this call. But awesome, guys. I think we're going to call it for today. I think on the next biweekly mastermind, we're going to be having Florida Sell Now. If you guys aren't familiar, that's one of the biggest off-market real estate companies in Florida. Dominic Andrelli and Mark Rado. I believe they're going to be running next call, so I'll be interviewing them. They've gotten so big that they're considering expanding to a new company called Texas Sell Now. So, and they're doing YouTube now. Like they're doing a lot of shit. So, keep an eye out for that, and you'll be seeing us in the emails and in the Facebook group. So, Christopher, thank you for sharing. You didn't have to share any of that, but we're glad you did and we're real proud of you, man. So congratulations on that. So thank you guys, and go close some deals. Go get some money. All right.